This is Mason's audience, including myself.
How many times do you recall yourself letting go of a balloon in recent years? And I'm not just talking of going into the supermarket and grabbing a balloon from the balloon section and then putting it back after your mom says no. No, I'm talking about taking a balloon, going outside, and releasing it up into the sky. Almost everyone listening to this has probably released at least one helium-filled balloon up into the sky and watched it float higher and higher with the sun blazing into your eyes, but it's hard to look away as it's so astonishing to see something go high and higher up until you can no longer see it. Well, as harmless as this common action may seem, it has become quite a concerning matter. First, I would like to talk about how I got into this topic. There's currently a project in place that is inviting citizens from all over the world to take pictures of balloons they find as litter. According to the sciencestarter.org, this project is known as balloon litter. Balloon litter, much like what it sounds, is any litter brought up from balloons or other plastic that is found from balloons falling from the sky. Balloon litter is very bad for the environment. Let's proceed into why we should stop balloon littering altogether. First of all, we need to stop releasing balloons into the atmosphere in general. Secondly, let's find an alternative method of disposing balloons. Lastly, we should look into banning balloons of intentional release. Though these methods, all of us and the environment around us would be better off in the world. Let's talk about what these methods do for us. We can expect to see less plastic pollution, fewer microplastics in the ocean, and healthier environment for humans and animals. On the downside, we can also find things that will go stagnant, such as funeral services, memorial services, parties, birthday parties. All the typical uses of balloon releasing would come to a less exciting, as we won't be releasing balloons anymore. But it's something we all must sacrifice for the greater good. Stopping the release of balloons from these will probably take away from the fun, but when you break it down into microplastic pollution, it's outweighed by any additional fun that releasing a balloon up into the sky will do. We have to think about what the effects of microplastic pollution does to the environment. According to BecauseHealth.org, microplastics even make their way into our food and drinks, such as beer, tap water, and sea salt. Let's take a look at some of the pictures. First off, here is the balloons flying up into the sky. What will happen is someone will release these helium-filled balloons and they'll fly way up into the atmosphere to where they get to a point where the pressure is so great that the helium will eventually die out and they'll fall back into the earth with some air still inside of them, or they'll simply pop and the balloon litter will fall back into water, the ocean, or just onto the land. What's bad about this is the animals will eventually eat the microplastics that these balloons will decompose into. They're not biodegradable, and they add into the plastic pollution in our Pacific Ocean. Here you can see, if you can make it out, this is a graduation party, and this is where some events of balloon release would be taking place. After graduation, students and the parents release the balloons in a celebration to represent new beginnings, and it's a form of celebration. Additionally, here's the balloons being released in a funeral service. This represents the people going to a new place, flying away, going up into heaven. It can be, as you can see, there is a lot of symbolism in these balloons. They do mean a lot to the people who have lost a loved one, and they can be used in multiple occasions. Here we need to stop releasing the balloons and use other ways of disposing of balloons. As you can see, disposing of balloons by releasing them in the air only adds to the current trash problem we have along the coast. All of the balloons, they fly up, they fall back down, they go into the waterway, or they wash up into the ocean, creating a lot of debris. Here you can see there's also effects of marine life. We have a sea turtle here who has a balloon in its mouth. How would it make you feel to know that their marine biologists put in lots of work to preserve these endangered species, and they're being destroyed by consuming what they don't know any better to do, the litter that we put in the ocean? We have to come together as a group and stop putting balloon litter into the ocean. Stop releasing balloons and start finding alternative methods. Some alternative methods that we could use is simply just pop in the balloon, throw it away, dispose of it how anyone else would, use the trash management that we have around the United States. Another way would be, like I mentioned earlier, the projects of balloon litter, taking a picture, coming together as a community of the world and picking up the balloon litter that we find on the ground. By doing this, we can eliminate microplastics getting into our food supply, getting into other animals' food supply, saving these turtles. There's already so much work that's put into cleaning up plastic on the earth, and we don't want to add to that by creating even more plastic pollution. By finishing off with not releasing balloons anymore, we can create a better environment for the turtles around us. I believe that we should start taking precautions against intentional balloon release for the benefit of our environment. If all comes to worst, there are laws that are being put in place trying to get passed by legislation to eliminate and ban releasing balloons intentionally. By doing this, it is less likely that people will take the risk of letting balloons fly away on accident. So altogether, it would reduce balloon release and eliminate balloon litter and pollution. That is our final goal, and that will wrap up today's presentation.